maybe a shirt tied. Next night, we saw the guy one night in one of our towns. We told him, you can't, any of these towns, you need permits. We saw it literally the next night. And he had socks pulled up to his knees and shorts and just walking down there, just bouncing down the street like he had no cares for it. So that's all we should keep our eye. And then on some of the fraud things, there were just reports where the IRS scams were where they're saying you owe money and you should have called and do that stuff. But everybody gets scared and think they're coming again. They're not. It's just that time. It's just a big vicious circle that moves back around for a while and we start calling. I'm not sure if the chief would talk about it also. We've got a little box and container for unused prescription meds. So a lot of times people always talk about they can't find a place to get rid of their prescription medications and what do we do with them because you obviously can't throw them non-sanitary. But we have acquired a box to try to help with that. So anytime Monday through Friday, just bring them up as long as there's not like they don't want liquids or anything like that. But if it's a prescription, like aerosols or anything like that. But if you come up with a prescription med, you can bring them up in the container or if you just have the bag or whatever, just bring it to the police station. As soon as you walk in our entrance, there's a cabinet in there as well. You just open that up, throw your stuff in, and eventually it's through the district attorney's office and stuff like that. They'll eventually say they send a guy out who will come and get rid of the stuff for us. Eventually, once we've brought it.
You're not just talking about your comp.
We're talking about your prescription. Yeah, just your big prescription drugs, things like that. Because a lot of times you have them that are older, loved ones have passed away, you have the box and the whole cabinet full of prescription drugs you want them to do with them. They always ask sometimes the DEA has this, it's like Chinese rules or whatever. They'll do different things where they'll let you come up and do a day where they just do it wrong. Now we don't have to wait for it to come to the station, just throw it home. That looks like a thing on our entry.
A month or two ago, the chief reported on a scam that was on one of the residents at the Masonic Village. He was out of Arkansas or somewhere in that area. Has he been brought back here yet, or is he still?
He's probably still after that. I know I'm not 100% sure that investigations guys will be in on that problem.
Yeah. Okay.
But they have so many cases. I have to go through them all. I'm not sure they're out. But sometimes it's difficult. They have different avenues to do things like that, depending on how much money and things like that. It's the federal government has to help us a little bit and stuff like that. So,
All right.
Anything else? All right,
thank you very much.
Thank you. Fire department.
Emergency management. Public Works.
Okay, like we've done in the past month, so we heard that sign over there and it got wiped out, which is taken care of. And on Hill Road, we repaired a catch basin grate that was falling in the catch basins up there. And then we also graded the road on Hillburn and put erosion material in it, just the burn that's just washing out. We got that taken care of. And we did also in the yard of the township, where we took those trees and stuff out and put that up back there for the building. And we did still clean up on that gate from the rains. But actually, we had we spent half a day cleaning up the barn because everything up the barn. It was a very tedious thing every time it was heavy downpours. And not mentioned we cut back the sides of the roads because of the weeds and stuff treating out of the white buildings. So probably doing another time this year because of the county. And then on the soldier pipe that we talked about on quickly Ridge Drive, they're going to camera. Well, we took out the little section on the other side of the little glen, because they wanted that section taken out so they could camera it. So we put a 12-foot section back in, but we had to dig back further because the pipe was just so tight going. And
Is that when we looked at the first line again?
yeah, inside line of the company. But now there's, well, we're going to talk to Ben, but last Friday they went in from the bottom. They went 51.7 feet in, couldn't go any further with the camera. Because when that storm sewer pipe was put in, They put it right on top of the sanitary. And the pipe's totally gone, and there's a big erosion underneath that stuff. So, we'll discuss it with Ben, and see what path he wants to take now.
What was the pipe material?
This was what was put originally into the storm sewer. And the main sanitary line is terracotta. And it's sitting right on top. So, let's see what Ben.
How old is the terracotta?
Well, you figure, that's when we did that in ballpark 71, 72 probably. The terracotta still in excellent shape, because I was down to Friday, and the inside was there, and well, I had the camera in the pipe. Pipe looks like very loose. But the issue is, the storage of pipes, right on top. So, we'll see what Ben recommends at this point, I think, how we go with it now. And then, after
What are, there's still trucks over there, what are they doing?
that's the company the mayor brought in to do that slide on Little Glen.
I got you.
They're in there doing their job.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, but yeah, that's what they're in there doing now. Just making care of that. So. And I talked to that contractor today, he plans on supposed to be lined by the end of this week. So,
Any other problems?
good.
Thank you. All right, thank you. I don't have any report for communications. Nothing's on.
I talked last month about wanting a draft of the chicken regulation ordinance, and so you have a draft in your packet. I've given Harlan a couple of comments, and one little thing in there that conflicts with one of our existing ordinances, so we have that, but it's open for discussion if you like the regulations here, if you want to think about it some more and come back to the workshop, or if you are ready.
Maybe we should look at it again.
Put it on the agenda for next month.
Just very quickly, do we have any geese, ducks, pigeons, goats, hogs, cows, ponies, horses, monkeys?
We have horses, no monkeys that I know of. I think we did at some point have some ducks, and we do have some chickens.
Counts,
I don't think we have any cows.
hogs.
Don't think we have any hogs. I don't know, I mean, if people have something in the garage I don't know about, but I don't think so.
What would we do in the case of somebody that already has ponies?
Well, that's one of the things we have to, but that's gonna be taken out. The fact that we can't have horses, because we have regulations for
Yes.
certain kinds of farm activities and animals in R3. So that's one of the things that's gonna get tweaked, is we're gonna work with that list to see what we already allow, so that we're not conflicting with that. Because we regulate the barn animals, not the small ones.
So, is there also a prior non-conforming use issue?
Yeah, I looked into it. It's not the chicken or rooster that would be, it's the use, so you could replace it if your rooster died. You're not just stuck with that one rooster. If it's a property that already has roosters on it, that's not conforming until the use stops.
So stopping at roosters.
Yeah, for the law, right.
Right.
If they don't replace the rooster, then the use would stop. If the rooster passed away, then you could get another rooster.
So we wouldn't be able to really regulate people.
Yeah,
who
people
already
already have
chickens.
But there's only one rooster.
And the only one rooster that I hear, that I know of, there might be others in other properties that are quieter, or people haven't called me about.
All right, why don't we put this on the agenda for July
July workshop.
workshop? Anything else in planning and zoning?
No.
Tax collector? Not here. No report. Treasurer, no report.
Okay.
Finance, you see the proposed motion there. Somebody care to make it?
I move to approve the May bill list in the amount of $131,086.59 To ratify May prepaid bills in the amount of $11,359.32. And to ratify May payroll transfers in the amount of $16,003.98.
Second.
Motion and a second, is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries, thank you. Anything else with finance fund?
We opened up a Pliget Prime account, which is a new option that they allow, so it's a sub account underneath our existing Pliget accounts, and it's getting a better interest rate. So we moved some of our money from the Pliget Plus account into the Pliget Prime account, hoping to just get some more interest. So we'll be playing with that. There are no new accounts, just new options, investment options under the same account. So we'll be playing with that. I think it's like 3.58 right now. So it's better than all the others. 1.58.
Did they perform effectively during the transition?
Pliget?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, we just moved one set of money so far. but
No,
so far, yes.
We had a very good meeting,
Mhm.
and they seem to be very efficient.
Yes, they called me to do it, it's fun. And we also continually, the CD investment program that we set up, when they mature, I just keep redoing it, because that was the plan, was to just keep going with the laddered CDs in case, you know, if they ever get a situation where we need the money, I won't rebuy them, but for now, whenever one comes to maturity, I just buy the same amount under the same terms, and we're just keep rolling with that, and that's been way better interest than.
Yeah, just for others. They did a very good cash flow analysis of each of our budgetary items, so that we don't put too much away for too long, et cetera. It was very professional done.
All right, anything else on finance?
As in that discussion, are you going to do some kind of a study or make some decisions to reducing the number of accounts that we're carrying in the ledger?
It was just, you know, adding the Pliget Prime option actually added to the line items that we can have, so I'm trying to find ways to consolidate some of what we have so that it's easier to manage.
Anything else on finance?
I do not.
Okay, it's Arundel Township Authority, before we get to the enumerated item, do you have a report?
There's nothing to report.
Okay. Our agenda has a discussion of the Township Authority reimbursement request.
Right.
Does anybody have a motion with respect to that?
Well, I'm always somewhat confused on this issue as to money being loaned or transferred back and forth between the authority and the township. And there is a opinion from time to time that the township can loan money to the authority, and which I don't believe that's the proper thing to do. It's only occurred whenever the sewer was up bonds. So we have an exception, as I put it, in business. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do from that for 30 years, 28 years left. Because there's, according to the first class laws, the only way you can do anything with an authority is to have that authority have all of their bills paid. Period. And then you can take some actions. We have this one exception that's sitting there, which is due to the bonds. My sort of question is, why would the township be funding the authority? What looks to me like it makes sense.
Well, that's what the issue is. They claim it's not a maintenance expense. They claim it's a failure to get what we're supposed to get in the first instance. There was an error in the design, right? Pumps or how they were arranged, if I recall. Actually, I recall last discussion, there was some expected ongoing expenses that we didn't know what the total amount that we were talking about.
There were, and they have since, we still have some of those that are on this. When Bill Davis was here, the request was for 7,000, I think it was 7,176, and the total is now 12,000 and something, because that other invoice that he had been waiting for came in. So the request on the table is for that amount, but I do know that there may, he identified there may be a few other things that he's not sure of that he might have to get repairs on, including like concrete work, the base of some of the pipes and things like that, but
Well, I guess the question is, why does the authority, they have their own sources of revenue? And why isn't it paid out of those types of things? Most of the stuff they're talking about is out of warranty. And I don't think you can go back on something out of warranty unless you want to sue someone over a design change, which is torturous path. So I guess it's a policy issue that I have to have cleared up. We have an exception that's bothered me from a management standpoint. You want to discuss that? And is the township in the banking business for the authority, or is that not true?
Well, if the arrangement between the township and the authority is that we own it and they operate. And fundamentally, I think what you're saying is you gave us a partially defective system to operate, and in order to fix the defects that you gave us, we had to take operating revenues that we collect and use it for, if you will, a capital improvement. That's the argument they're making. And Bill was in here last meeting or 2 meetings ago to explain their view as to why it should be viewed as a capital replacement as opposed to maintenance. They recognize they have a maintenance expense obligation. It's theirs.
It's just, this is how many years now?
3.
so we're running for 3 systems.
When, I thought one of the engineers was going to try and tighten down repair versus improvement of defective. Do you recall
I don't,
because kind of a small pump defect, a $7,000 event, but what if the entire pump station is defective? That, in other words, a little tighter definition, because my recollection is this $7,000 bill, in my mind, is not maintenance. It was truly a design defect. But then how do you define that?
Well, I haven't heard it, had anybody define.
Yeah.
We've had, 3 or 4 discussions.
Yeah.
Seems to be all up in the air, so.
Just the engineers, say that this is design defect.
How the pump was arranged and secured, at least the report that we got was that it was not done in an engineering.
But even that was still maintenance and repair, because it was what it was attached to, the pumps were fine. It's just with the vacuum in the system, every time they turned on and turned off, they got a bang, right, which loosened the bolts, which caused the concrete to stall. That's maintenance and repair. That has nothing to do with
Well, exactly. Here, but yeah, that's not the way you would expect the system to be designed to operate. Or maybe you would. I mean, I don't know.
you don't know until it rains.
Okay, well, discussion is out of order because there's not a motion. So if anybody wants to take action, whether it's to ask for more information yet again, or
Right.
to authorize paying this.
I move to approve the reimbursement request from the authority.
and the amount is $12,162.30.
I'll second it. So there's a motion and a second. And now is there any further discussion? Does anybody have anything they want to talk about?
The question I was about to ask is there must be engineering standards. So somewhere in the world, I build it, I own it, you maintain it. there must be some traditional language.
Well, yeah, it's normally wrapped around the warranty.
So what's the warranty is,
That is own it, it's own it.
Is this question addressed in the agreement between the town and
No, please.
I guess from a management standpoint, the only concern that I have is when does it stop? Well, we've created something here that is sort of abnormal, I guess you might say. It certainly goes against the good operating procedures. And when I sort of drew a map of our financial system and how it works, there's a faucet in the wall between the two, which shouldn't be there, and which wouldn't be there unless we had loaned the money, because they didn't have borrowing power to finish the sewer system. So that's how it got there. But that's a 30-year abnormality which should not exist, should not pertain to anything else. And after 4 years, I consider this to be maintenance and repair. Unless you want to spend the engineering time to go back and something do another analysis, which was the result in indefinitive statement as to what it was good, bad, and otherwise. It is what it is, and it needs repaired.
Okay, anybody else?
did we get a written report from the authority? To
We
try to
got-
explain why they felt this was our.
Yes, we got that when the total was 7,176. And then this board decided to wait when Bill said there was gonna be another invoice coming, but it was a letter, and you have it, and it's from, John Seifert, the chairman. And it said, the bolts were too loose, causing damage to the pump base mounting brackets. They think that, problem being poor workmanship by the original contractors at the time of the original installation. They felt that it was the contractor's issue.
Yeah, which if you take it that at its face value has nothing to do with the pumps or the structure, it has to do with workmanship.
And full workmanship on the part.
The original contractor.
But would it make sense to try to resolve this by having the town agree to reimburse a percentage of the $12,000 that was all?
They can really do anything that seems prudent.
And there's obviously a disagreement, a difference of opinion from the authorities representative that came here as to the nature and cause of the problem. That's the basis for the request.
Well, and I think it should be pointed out that just because we may approve this, we do control the purse strings. So that we think that we may be opening up the faucet, but the faucet is in our control.
Yes.
So that doesn't mean that the next, something else can come up and we may say, no, that does not meet.
I move to amend the pending motion to provide for payment of 70% of the amount requested, and to further make it clear that this action does not establish any precedent with regard to any future claim that might be asserted by the authority.
And then with these repairs, the issue is closed, not to be revisited. Because I have to get that faucet turned off somewhere.
All right, that amendment, proposed amendment requires a second.
Second,
Motion and a second, so is there any further discussion with respect to the amendment, proposed amendment?
Chris, any input?
I think you get the issues.
To me, it seems, I don't know, other than splitting the difference, or some portion of split the difference, I don't know what it does. I mean, I think something that's not being said is that the authority is in financial trouble and the township is not. And we can sit here and philosophize about the difference between the authority and the township till we're blue in the face, and we do. But the residents of Aleppo don't understand that distinction, and if their water bill goes up because all of a sudden there's increased operating expenses, nobody's gonna want to hear the difference between the two. So I don't know why, I don't necessarily support a split other than why not? I mean, there's something different to do. So,
Well, I'm not, I don't have an analysis on this, but, you know, we took action that raised the rates by 15%, which paid for two relatively large, included the two relatively large jobs that had to be done this year and the operating expenses, and would end up with a positive balance at the end of the year. That was the analysis that we took action on in March.
Well, the sewer component is actually relatively healthy. The water component is the one that needs further analysis, correct, Glenn?
And I'm under the assumption right now that the actions that we took in February to raise the rates address that.
I think it just sort of covered it. I'm not sure they're rolling in money, are they?
No.
I mean, they just made it with those increases, because those increases came from Westport.
Well, again, this is a sewer issue.
Right, we're
Right.
talking sewer.
A lot of water.
that we're-
Yeah.
right.
Can I clarify that,
Yes.
just to refresh everyone, that there is something on our side called the sewer capital.
Yes.
And that is where this money would come from. This money was set aside when the project was finished and the bond money started coming in. Prior board composition had set up this account to take a small amount of some of the sewer bond money and put it aside in this capital account for some future potential issue. This 12,000 would come from this sewer capital account,
Which is 36,
38.
30.
So there's 38 sitting in this. Now, the fact that it's named that doesn't mean that's what it has to be used for. This money can vary, it came from a sewer bond account, it's low as access, and it can be put back in the sewer bond account. It should be used for sewer things, but you can spend this money and then take the balance and put it back in the bond account so that eventually there's enough excess in there to pay the bond down sooner and faster.
And it was intended as a contingency for these
For
gray,
these kinds of things.
for these gray areas for a period of time. I think everybody's saying the period of time and the tightening of the definition of capital versus O&M needs to occur. And I thought the authority engineer was going to address that, because I feel very comfortable, whether it's warranty, that there is engineering language out there that defines this pretty tightly. I might be wrong, I mean, Dan, I think you.
No, I think we're probably in a true gray area.
Okay.
You are. Have you seen the photos of the structure and the condition of concrete? It's definitely warranted.
all right, so the amendment that's on the table that's being voted on right now, or that's up, is to amend it to pay for 70% with the clarification that there is no precedent. Is there any additional discussion with respect?
Further, this issue is resolved.
Is there any additional discussion with respect to that proposed amendment? All right, hearing none, let's vote. Well, right now, you're voting to amend Commissioner Jones's proposed motion to approve this requested amount. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. I'm voting no.
I'm voting
Motion carries.
Dan's giving me.
Motion carries. So then we come back to the main motion, which is Commissioner Jones's motion as amended, that we pay 70% of the amount requested, with the clarification that this does not establish a precedent, and that this ends the discussion of this particular issue. Is there any further discussion with respect to that portion of the motion. This is this is the motion that was just amended. So the
And we're
original,
back to your motion.
correct.
Yeah, 70-30, no precedent, end of issue.
We just
You voted
did
just
that.
now, voted to amend, voted to amend.
Now we're looking at the original motion as amended.
So 70-30, no precedent.
I want it first.
Yeah, that's
It's gone. It's gone.
correct. So the motion that we're gonna vote on now is to pay for 70% of it with a statement that it does not establish a precedent. This is the end of the discussion with respect to this issue. Does anybody have any additional discussion with respect to that motion? Do you understand what they're voting on? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carries.
Don't be fair.
I wanted to go back to the pool. That was all.
It's amended.
I know, but couldn't we-
Well, sorry,
It's
you could've made-
amended and
You
gone
could
back.
have made a motion to amend it back to the original vote, from the original motion.
It's a-
All right, QE cog, I'm sorry, do we have anything else on the township authority to discuss? QE cog. Did they take any action this week, you know?
On the executive director, I don't believe, I did not hear. They took action on funding us for some, I told them.
I was out of town last week, so I wasn't at the meeting, but I know that on their agenda was an interview with a new executive director candidate, and I believe they were expecting to take a vote on that on Wednesday, so. I haven't heard one way or the other, I don't know what that means, but I think that they're hopeful that they're zeroing in on something. Ambulance authority,
No, no. Meetings first.
sewer project. MS4,
Our small committee met again, and we outlined some plans for advertising the Herald and the contest to drive. We have to meet measurable public outreach goals, so we thought that having a coloring contest for children, we count the entries, so that's a measurable goal. We'll have a booth set up at the Harvest Festival also. And the COG did need to approve of $4,500 to be used for all the communities to help put together some of this COG-wide outreach, public outreach for part of our MS.
I missed something. What is MS?
Municipal separate storm sewer system for us, and it's stormwater. We have huge rules from the EPA that we have to follow and documentation for everything. And the guys, every time they hit a catch basin, now they take a picture before, they take a picture after, they document what they did, where they put the debris. So it's a massive paperwork exercise with the goal of producing cleaner water. You'll be hearing about it a lot because we have to do a lot.
how does that affect us? I mean, we have second source.
We do, this is the permit that allows us to have that, and it regulates what our district is. So if there's pollution in the storm sewers that they drop out and it gets tested, we have to go back to the source and make sure it's.
Okay. Solicitor?
Yeah, the mediation in the Masonic case is scheduled for August 15th or August 23rd. We're down to 2 dates. It's going to be from Scott Sesser. I thought this had been announced before, but Larry Leonard also agreed to be our expert in that case. That was mentioned.
We're not in executive session right now. I'll go back. Not discussing our litigation strategy. And not,
I think we can discuss details more, but that was okay for this, but that's fine. If you want to do more detail, we go to executive. DP previously authorized exploring the settlement coming we got an executive for this.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't discuss that now.
Okay. I need to go into executive for that.
Okay. Anything else? That's it. Okay. Any unfinished business?
I have SWOT analysis on there because we didn't have the workshop. If you want me to bump it to the next workshop, that's on
Next workshop. Other unfinished business? New business?
I attended the meeting for the Masonic Fall Festival, and there's an issue, they're putting in a veterans garden, and it may interfere with the Fall Festival. It's gonna be big, it's gonna be under construction. They were asking Elizabethtown if that could be delayed. If it's not delayed, there's a possibility there will be no Fall Festival this year. If there is one, it will probably be consolidated. Yeah, concentrated on a smaller area of the property.
Okay.
So I haven't heard back from Eric since that meeting. But it was a good meeting. I told him the township wants to do something. We don't know what, whether it's a booth or whatever. But it's kind of all on hold.
Is it on hold because the people that signed it swiftly don't really know yet?
Correct. It's a major garden
But
area.
yeah, it goes from the clubhouse, or, yeah, from the clubhouse down over a flat, fairly sizable grade, and it ends up near the sidewalk that goes in front of two of the residence buildings. And there'll be a waterfall and a pond down there, and a full bronze statue of, I'm not sure, I think it's George Washington, so this to the World War II memorial. I have only seen the concept drawings, that's all I know.
And there's a major
But
event.
taking into consideration the construction equipment and
Yes.
moving of earth and so on.
And there's a major event planned for the grand opening of that next year.
Okay. Other new business? Let's run through our action items. Financial management,
The policy is the draft is being written.
when do you think you'll have it for us?
Hopefully next month.
Pension analysis?
I heard back from the representatives of Fleet, and they have a few suggestions for us about options we can explore for the police pension, but since they do not manage small, non-uniform pensions, they are not able to provide any kind of written guidance for us on that. But they have some groups that if we're looking to make changes to our non-uniform pension, they have some things that they can direct us to, but it's not something that they manage, so they can't issue written opinions on it, if it's not what they do.
Okay.
They don't do like 401k type plans on the side of ours.
So we will continue with that.
We will continue
We will
to
accept
support
their
that.
advice on somebody appropriate. We just got the report back from Pliget, and now we know they can't do it.
Road bonding,
Tom,
I haven't talked with them about anything.
all right, I'll stay with it.
industrial park occupancy, hold until we figure out who owns it.
Haven't heard of it. Haven't heard of people.
All right, Glen Mitchell Road cleanup,
I don't have anything to report on it yet, but I will keep an eye on the calendar that July 30th was the date that they, so they said that they were going to clean it up. So,
July 30th?
I mean, June.
Meaner's cars are leaving. I mean, it looks much better.
You're kidding.
Well, there's quite a few gone.
Quite a few cars gone.
And I believe are you involved with that?
Now, one of my officers he does our van of vehicles for all our towns, and he went down and spoke with him. He's gonna work with them.
Yeah, there's progress.
all right. This is the time for citizen participation. Any citizens care to participate? All right,
I got some questions after the meeting, but, some of the authority stuff, but nothing as a citizen.
all right. It is 43, let's go into executive session for the purposes of discussing litigation.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Right on the-
Sure.